After a thrilling and, frankly, in many ways, shocking comeback victory by the Eagles yesterday, they looked dead in the water, and they pulled it out. Major credit to Jalen Hurts, Jordan Davis, A.J. Brown, Sirianni, obviously, for having his club always ready to fight. They weren't really ready to play their best in the first half yesterday, but they were ready to fight, and they pulled it out 3-0. It's obviously an all-time Eagles regular season victory. We'll talk about it today and do so extensively with you on the phone lines, 215-592-9494. We'll also talk to Ray Dittinger, 7:55, Seth Joyner, 9 o'clock. We'll talk about Bernie Perrant today. We'll certainly pay tribute to him. We truly loved Bernie Perrant. Looking forward to discussing his life and legacy. So there's a lot to do with you. I mean, we wish we didn't have to because we wish he hadn't passed away. It's a very sad situation. I was with Bernie 2 weeks ago. We'll get to that. But look, a lot to do, and so much of it on the Eagles. Your phone calls 215-592-9494. Richie Rich.
Hello, Joe.
Hello there, Johnny.
The letter J was the last letter to be added to the alphabet.
Wonder why.
It wasn't recognized and accepted into the English alphabet until around 1633.
Wow. Okay.
Save the best for last.
Yeah.
I like that, James.
Jordan Davis, Jalen Hurts.
John, Jalen. Yeah,
Yep,
we got
yep.
some J's are good.
I like that a lot. Doctor.
Used to be I and J were the same, and it wasn't distinctive between. There was no distinction between the two, and gradually there were a couple pronunciations for that I, and they put a flourish on the bottom of it that became the J that was accepted in 1633.
Well, they say there's no I in win. But there certainly was a thrill in yesterday. I don't know if that line worked, but I'm trying. Good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. All right, hop aboard those phone lines and react. There's so much to get to, obviously, your reaction to it all. I'll start with this, one of the most amazing Eagles regular season games ever. Not quite 2010 Miracle in the Meadowlands, part 4, Deshaun Walkoff, but it's up there. My lifetime. This is up there. This is high up there. This was one of those ones you thought they were dead. I did. Second quarter, I thought they were dead. Now, obviously, at a certain point, you can feel the comeback was forming, but there was a point where it seemed incredibly unlikely that the Eagles would pull out the win. So really one of the more thrilling comeback victories and one of the more amazing Eagles regular season games I've ever seen. I'm sure that resonates with you. I'll say this is certainly the kind of game that could get me to start changing my tune on Jalen Hurts. I was remarkably impressed with what he did in the second half. Obviously, you want to see it sooner. Not because it wasn't just him in the first half. They all stunk. The whole freaking thing stunk. Everything stunk. But they played a different kind of game in the second half. They had to rely on the pass because they were down by so much. You're managing the clock and the score. And I thought it may have been. It's hard to remember all these games now, 6 years into his career. But I thought it may have been the best half he's ever played in the NFL. He was awesome in the second half. Credit to him. Obviously, heart of a champion for the football team. I mean, one thing that we really have come to know, and this is like such an opposite of the 76ers, is under Sirianni, man, they fight. Man, they fight. I mean, they never give up. So credit to the squad, credit to him, credit to Howie Roseman for the selection of players. It's not just about how they play, but it's about how they're wired and how they play because of that. And look, it was thrilling. We'll take your phone calls, 215-592-9494. And this game had it all. I mean, there are major aspects of this game. It won't surprise me in the 20 weeks that the 20 hours we're on the air this week, we may never even get to because it had so much. It had bad calls. It had good calls. It had tauntings. It had taunts that weren't taunts. It had a timeout. I still don't understand why Sirianni took the timeout at the end. This game had so freaking much. It felt like a 10-hour game. It was boiled down to 3 hours, and the Eagles found a way. And God bless them at 3-0. It was really, really, truly one of the most remarkable Eagles regular season games I've ever seen. Your phone calls, 215-592-9494. Your thoughts, John? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking maybe we're ahead of schedule. That was incredible. You rarely do you see a finish like that. That was one for the ages, one that we'll all remember. For forever. Sure. That's Hey, the Jordan Davis block and return. That was a game that again maybe some years the Eagles don't win that game, but this year things are bouncing our way, it seems, at least early, and that's a good sign. But again, we were told this was supposed to maybe take a month before this team got into rhythm and stuff. I think it took I think it took 2.5 games.
2.5 games. That's funny. Yeah,
yeah, I really do. I think they are ahead of schedule. I think that what we saw was finally balance to the offense. I mean, that's simple trick. It really opens things up when you throw it and you run it because they don't know what's coming, and they got to play off and soft, and we just take it to them, and the proof is in that second half. My gosh, it was ridiculous. But let's not forget, we did have some machinations that had to take place up front. Because
I thought Fred Johnson might have saved the game.
Absolutely.
If they don't make that change, Eagles lose the game.
Well, they waited too long.
Yeah, I don't know why Fred Johnson was
not the second stringer
immediately inserted when Lane was injured. Sure. Because Lane went down. It was early, and we had to endure the remainder of that first half. And
credit to Howie with the trade, though. If he doesn't make that trade, look, to a lot of people, it's like a rando trade, and to a certain extent it was, but it wasn't totally rando because we knew of this guy, and I thought he stepped in and saved the game. I mean, there was so much. There was the 5 times they couldn't catch a kickoff. Now, look, if it's a knuckleball, I guess it is tricky. I mean, I can't imagine it wasn't not tricky. The combination of the two returners dropped it 5 different times. So they'll have to clean that up. There's a lot they're going to have to clean up. But man, oh man, heart of a champion and the will to win and the will to continue to fight. And Jordan Davis with the leap and Jordan Davis with the scoop and score. Look, all of it, 215-592-9494. I can only imagine what is coursing through the veins of James Seltzer. I don't have to imagine. I can ask him now. James Seltzer, your thoughts?
It still doesn't feel real, man. Like, the whole rest of the day yesterday, I felt like I was kind of like in a glorious haze because I was so sure they were going to lose that game. At one point, like at halftime or a little after, I turned to Emily, I'm like, when was the last time we got our asses kicked? Yeah. Like, that's what I was feeling. And then to feel like we were definitely going to lose, and then they come back, and then for it to feel like we're going to lose again because it's a 44-yard field goal, and to actually win that game, like, to obviously for the season, it's a big tiebreaker game, it's a big conference.
Very big.
It matters.
Yeah.
Like, it matters just period. But also to the point John said, like, there aren't that many games that often that you could say at the end of the game, I'm going to remember this for the rest of my life. This is a game that we will name the Jordan Davis game. Like you said, the Deshaun game. Like, it's special. It's why you watch sports. It's like the Schwarber 4-home run game. Like, every once in a while when you're watching your team play, you get to see something you've never seen before. And we got that yesterday. And it's just, I'm so happy today.
Ray, and that's a good Rams team. Well, that is a good Rams team. When we had calls, we go against us in bunches. We had injuries go against us in bunches. But that team won anyway. The team, this Eagles team, we scored the last 26 points of that game. And we took the first half off. We took the first half off, and somehow we were still able to beat a really good team. That says a lot.
It does. Look, it's a big one. 3-0, 215-592-9494. Rhea, I know you were there. How bonkers was it at the end?
It was nuts, and I have to say, we had started to walk out. We're like, they're kicking this thing.
Yep.
But we were on the top of the steps. And I swear I felt the link shake.
Wow.
I mean,
Have you ever felt that before? Can you remember?
Yeah, the NFC Championship game against Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the one that I remember.
Minnesota.
Well, it could be Atlanta 04.
Yeah, Atlanta and Minnesota.
My fault.
Yeah, no, but the first time it was the Atlanta one, and then the Minnesota one was kind of a foregone conclusion.
Sure. Yeah.
So the Atlanta one was, I mean, it was, and I got to give credit to a guy I was watching the game with. His name's Jonah. I don't know what his last name is. He's a hand surgeon. I was at NovaCare. In the first half, he kept saying, Sean McVay's settling for field goals. Like, what is this? This boy genius.
Let me tell you who's settling for field goals. Matthew Stafford with inaccurate passes.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford should have won this football game. And he had 4 or 5 times where he just and it's funny because that's not normally his problem. I mean, he can have inaccuracies with interceptions of sort going back through the years. But he normally, you got a 15-yard guy open, like he'll hit him.
Joe, I'm going to tell you this because I don't know if they were showing it on TV.
Yep.
But in between plays, he kept going down to his knees. They got after him and hit him a couple times.
His back was bad.
Yeah, I think the back was really bothering him.
Mm-hmm. Well, look, it really is. It's an all-time Eagles regular season win. It doesn't have the import, for instance, of like Brandon Boykin picking off that ball to make the playoffs, or 44-6 to make the playoffs. It's not a Week 17, Week 18 game. So obviously it doesn't have the context of, my team just made the playoffs because of this game. But you want to talk about an unbelievable game where they found a way to pull it out. It really is one of the great Eagles regular season random games of all time. And I don't think it's an overstatement. And it's a team to love. They do fight. There are things to clean up. We'll talk about that today and all week. But my God, what a victory. 215-592-9494.